Hello there and welcome along to the UIM E1 World Championship presented by PIF, and we have 3 rounds to go in 2025. This is resplendent Monte Carlo, the jewel in the Mediterranean crown. What's going to happen here with the latest instalment? It's E1 Monaco. Some of them are chilled, some of them are slightly more apprehensive at this stage in the proceedings, and there are championship points up for grabs in the next half hour or so. Greg Haynes and Shelley Jury-Lee are with you, and this then, Shelley, is our course for our 5th event of the year.
Yep, for qualifying we just have one single lap, no short lap, no long laps. It's quite straight down the back, as you can see, so some good speed can be had.
Glorious surroundings here, a 1.3 kilometre anti-clockwise layout. So we've had the qualifying time trials earlier today, and the qualifying races are coming up very shortly indeed, at the end of which the first championship points will be handed out. And this is your first qualifying race. Alula, Brazil, Rafa and Miami are involved here in the mix, and Alula of course are looking to make the most of positions for the grid for tomorrow.
Yes, I'm here with Katie and Rusty from Team Alula. Katie, so far so good. Can you be pleased with your start?
Oh, it was close. We were so close to getting into the top qualifying race. I think Westbrook knocked us out on their final lap, but yeah, it was really difficult water conditions, to be honest. It was a lot rougher than free practice this morning. So yeah, we're bittersweet at the minute because we're on pole for the second race, but you really want to be in the first.
Yeah, Rusty, how are you feeling?
Yeah, like Katie said, it was struggling out there. It's so rough. We made some adjustments to try and get to the top for these rough conditions here in Monaco, but unfortunately fell just slightly short. But long day tomorrow to try and make up for this, and I think we got something in us yet.
Now, you've been doing well, but there is a secret weapon here in Mark, Rusty's uncle, the spotter. Your communication during the race is absolutely unbelievable. We've been speaking about it during our commentary. Tell me, what are you saying during the race, and how much does it help Katie?
Well, you know what, it's really finding them good water and getting them on their marks. We kind of know the fastest lap and where the positions need to be in different turns, and we just try to make sure that they're hitting those marks. And I think today we found some good lanes for them, but maybe not the best lanes that we needed to get the top times.
Rusty, talk to me about this relationship. How long have you been working with your uncle?
Long time, long time. We started in the US racing power boats, and he actually owned the boat and whatnot. So we built obviously a really strong relationship, obviously family, but when you work together as a business like that, you get a hell of a bond. So, you know, having him here with doing some spotting, Katie loves him as well. You know, we all work together so well, and it's key position to have a good spotter and get the clean water and get the clean lines, and just trying to make the whole job a whole lot easier with a good spotter.
Katie, what's it like having Mark in your ear?
It's amazing. He always knows what to say. Giddy up is my favourite phrase, I think, of Mark's.
What does giddy up mean? Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious, but how do you react when you hear giddy up?
I giddy up.
All the best and good luck with the rest of the weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much indeed to Alex Alger, bringing us all the latest down there here at glorious Monte Carlo. And as you saw before, Tom Brady himself and so many of the other team owners are here. So this is where we've got to so far. We've got 2 grids for 2 qualifying races coming up shortly, determined by combined times from each of the 2 pilots in each team in the time trials earlier on today. Now, the first 4 there, we just heard from Alula, the new team this year. They're just vying for their best starting positions as they get into the group stage races tomorrow. But that 5 you see at the bottom of the screen, they'll actually be able to, as well as their grid positions, pick up points 3, 2 and 1 available for the championship. And it's absolutely crucial because Rafa are the championship leaders. They've not got through to that second of the qualifying races. So we might have the championship lead coming down to as little as 4 points moving into the main race day here as we pan up to see this amazing scene on the Mediterranean. It is Monte Carlo. Shelley, we came here with E1 last year as well, and it just goes with motorsport, doesn't it? Whether it's 4 wheels or whether it's 2 foils, it's just a brilliant setting.
It's infamous for motor racing across the world, Monaco, and I just think it's wonderful that E1 are here for a second time. It was quite rough last year. It was really rough, and they had some tough racing. And as we've seen today, it's so changeable. We go from literally calm to big swirls coming in, and it's really been rocking and rolling for the boats this morning and this afternoon. So it'll be interesting to see who gets what conditions out there in these qualifying races.
Yeah, you would almost take constantly bumpy over changeable, because at least you know what you're dealing with, but the fact it keeps changing almost by the minute is making it very difficult. This is the situation so far, with 4 rounds down and 3 to go, including this one. 126 points left on the table, but look how tight it is at the top. Rafa and Aoki have been exchanging the championship lead by the round so far at Jeddah, Doha, Dubrovnik and Maggiore in Italy. 7 points between them, 21 back to Brady, the reigning champions. They won last time out in Italy. They're also the fastest so far this weekend. Others with work to do, and also note 7th and 9th, Drogba and Brazil. They both have new race spurs, new boats this weekend after a nasty collision last time out with Timmy Hansen and Open Duncan. Luckily, both are absolutely fine. Timmy's actually not with us because he's away on rallycross duty this weekend. So in his place, we have Farouk Al Abdurazak, who is back with us for the first time this year. But look at this, the live onboard shots now from down on the water there in this world famous Port Hercule, and top left is Rusty Wyatt, who we heard from a moment ago. Marit Stromoy from Norway, you can see the Norwegian flag on her helmet. Tom Chapp, the young Frenchman there, the youngest male pilot in the field at 25 years of age. And bottom right from Sweden, don't say it's not an international E1 in 2025, that's Eric Stark there for Miami. So it's Alula, Brazil, Rafa and Miami. And now the tension beginning to build. There's tension, Shelley, because although they know they can't actually take points, I wouldn't mind being on that yacht, I have to say. Although they know they can't take points, they are, of course, fighting for the best lane position, aren't they, as we move into the group stages tomorrow. So everything now is critical moving towards the final at the end of Saturday.
Yes, and we know how important those lanes are. It is crucial to get that key point, that hole shot into that first mark. We saw the big cruise ship, we saw the big super yacht go out there, which you would love to be on. But that is going to cause us some wash and turbulence coming into the harbour. So I hope he gets out there. And we've got 2 minutes. So let's hope that that wash can come in, bounce off the wall and disappear before we start.
Now what we're going to see for the first time is a couple of things coming up soon, this weekend at least. They're going to be starting in a race situation when they're side by side. We'll also see what's known as the start shoot. For those of you who've watched E1 before, you will, I'm sure, be aware of the fact there are 3 possible layouts, but not on this first day. Only the standard lap can be used today. So tomorrow we'll explain more the short and long lap configurations, but we do have the start shoot, so it avoids what is basically a chicane, just to get them safely through on that opening lap. But there's the wake that you were just talking about, Shelley. What a glorious looking vessel that is as it makes its way out of this port. Hopefully it's not going to leave too much wake and disturbance though, because it's going to be right in the starting area for the first of these qualifying races. That's not ideal for the race birds, is it?
No, it's all very well when they're going out at very slow speed out to the harbour wall, but as soon as they put on the power and want to move out a little bit faster, they then create a wash that basically rolls back in, and as you can see, Rafa are rolling about there into the harbour. So, oh, and there's another one.
I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting that so close to the start of the qualifying race. Dear, oh dear, you wouldn't want to mess with it, would you? Look at the size of that thing. But, well, this is, I know we're joking about it, but like you say, this is going to have a major bearing potentially. 30 seconds left, as you can see at the bottom of the screen. The tension mounting now here then at E1 Monaco before the first racing action now is ahead of us as they get ready. Now they need to be careful not to go too soon. You'll see the flag marshal with a yellow flag. Miami have gone first. Rafa are holding back. Brazil is the green and yellow boat. And then it's Alula, championed by LeBron James alongside. And look how Miami have had to back off. They didn't want to go too soon. And Brazil have been able to capitalise with their all-new race bird here after their collision with Drogba last time out in Italy. We look back then from Team Alula, championed by LeBron James, through the start chute. We've not done the left-right chicane on this opening lap, so we're straight down towards the smart marks at the end of what is a very elongated rectangular course here at Monte Carlo. 1.3 kilometres in total. They've got to keep to the outside of those red smart marks, and as you can see for yourself, Alula are leading. We're on board now with Norway's Marit Stromoy. For Brazil in second place, we're attacking. We're on the inside. This is for the lead, and they got very close to touching. If they didn't touch, it was mighty close. Rafa are your championship leaders with Tom Chapp, and he's there in the background, closely followed by Team Blue Rising. Shelley, what a great start to the race.
A great start to race, and look at Team Rafa coming up on the inside. Can we see him in this shot? Yes. Team Rafa are trying to fight as well, back in there in the mix. It's neck and neck with these 3 boats, and there's actually Team Miami. Oh, you know, Team Miami are behind. I thought they were closer in the pack there, but that's unfortunate for them. But yes, great battle at the front. Ooh, that was definite. Oh, and oh my gosh, we have definitely got a collision there between Rafa, and we've got a red flag. That means the race is stopped. Everyone will have to return. Everyone looks okay. Tom Chapp looks okay on board there. Marit looks okay on board. That's, at the end of the day, that's all that matters, that our pilots are fine. But oh, what damage have we done to the boats? Red flag, so everyone will return to the milling area.
Wow, what a way to start the proceedings here at E1 Monaco. This is drama with a capital D. This is your championship leaders, Rafa, and they've got big problems with that boat. That was a big hit, and guess what? It was Brazil again. Brazil, who had that collision with Drogba in Italy 3 weeks ago. This is their new boat now. Talk us through it, Shelley. We're on board with Rafa. Here comes the hit. Get ready. Boom!
Ooh, now, from that angle, I can't actually tell you what happened. If we've got oh, let's have a look at this angle. So we've got Rafa. Oh, so Brazil gets caught up on a Lula, and it basically hooks him into Rafa. Oh, and it kind of swirls both of them round there. That was a big old incident there. Oh, yes, and you can see the impact that Tom had there, and that's the great thing about the safety cells on these E1 race birds.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
That is a major escape here at E1 Monaco. Brazil, the last thing they wanted was a damaged boat again with the new boat. Look, so we're looking back from Alula. Brazil take evasive action, as you've just described, and just sideswipe the championship leaders. That's a huge impact.
I think Brazil was actually caught on the wash behind Alula, and it actually pushed him into Brazil and over. But it looked like Brazil was actually going to go over the top of Rafa there, and you can see Miami there. That's Anna Glennon, hands on her face. She is worried. There we have Steve Curtis there, who's the new team principal of Team Brazil. That's not a great start to his career with Team Brazil. Oh my goodness, that is going to be a lot of work for those teams. It actually looked like one of the windscreens was slightly scratched as well. But at the end of the day, everyone is okay. Everyone is looking very concerned here in Monaco, but we saw both the pilots. They're fine. Can we mend the boats? Here we have the scuba. Oh, look at Tom Chapp. He's so angry there. I mean, understandably. This is the Scuba Rangers, who are our fantastic safety team from Italy. They are faultless in their work. I have experienced them in the past, which is a shame. I don't really want to experience the safety team, but yes, they are a great team there. They've taken Tom Chapp in for a medical checkup. As you could see, he had a big impact there. They want to check that his neck and back are all okay. Oh, well, we didn't want this start, did we?
No, we did not. And it's Gianluca Berti. You were talking to me about him off air, weren't you? Who's the medical delegate here at E1, and an extremely competent, fully qualified doctor. And of course, he'll be checking everyone over if necessary as well. Anna Glennon, oh dear. I really do feel for Anna at the moment, Shelley, don't you? Because they had that trouble earlier, didn't they, when the boat couldn't get up properly on the foils. If you're joining us for the first time, you have these big hydrofoils, wings, if you like, underneath the race birds. And the idea is to be up on the foils, not the bottom of the boat itself. There's supposed to be a nice gap, the ride height we refer to it as, between the bottom of the boat and the surface of the water. Let's hope the boats are okay, because the last we saw of Rafa's boat, the championship leading race bird, it was bow up in the water, and I mean, a big impact. I mean, how on earth is this going to affect the rest of the event? And as I said before, I mean, Drogba here and Brazil, who've just had that collision, they have new boats. So the last thing Brazil needed, as they were trying to dial in their new race bird for this event, we have RB 11 and 12. Drogba have 11 and Brazil RB 12. Here they are. Look, they're looking out to the water to see what the situation is, but so unfortunate. And like you say, that's the last thing they wanted. after the incident last time out. So Steve Curtis, that's 2 big collisions. I have to say, Shelley, 2 of the largest collisions we've seen in the 1.5 years of E1 so far. And would you believe it, they've come in consecutive rounds here in the middle of this 2025 season. It just adds to the tension now for everybody else. It'll also add to the tension for Alula and Miami. And in the nicest possible way, this could be good news for Miami because they've had a lot of trouble so far this weekend, and they might be able to pick up some extra points. But I won't get ahead of myself. Let's just see what happens in the next few minutes now as Brazil make their way back in. We'll always try and listen in case we can catch any of the team radio. Marit Stromoy, who you know very well, of course, the Norwegian flag there on the side of the crash helmet. Let's just have another look at this, Shelley. This is Rafa we're on board with, and here comes the hit. Just listen to this.
I just can't quite understand what happened there. Brazil seemed to just lose control, and it's a big hit that takes Tom. I'm surprised that Marit hasn't been taken out of the cockpit and checked as well, but obviously she's clearly all right, because that would have been an impact for Marit as well. But it was, look at the windscreen on Tom Schaap's boat there. He's definitely cracked the windscreen.
Well
and that will be a
spotted.
safety feature. That will have to be mended before he goes back out because it's part of the safety cell.
Here we go again. We're looking back from Alula, the new team this year. There's Brazil, their brand new race bird.
He hooks. Basically, Marit hooks. She gets caught up on the wash of Alula, and it just unstables her. The boat sort of hooks to the right, and Tom Schaap was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Now, if I'm not correct, that boat looks like it's sinking.
It does. That was my fear when we last saw it, before we started seeing those spectacular replays. Not spectacular for the teams, but it does, doesn't it?
Do we have a RB13 in the wings?
That is a very good question. They were fresh out of the factory, weren't they, for Drogba and Brazil? But Rafa, your championship leaders, going to require a new boat as well. They certainly require some good fortune, and that's nice to see. This is where the mental resilience now really comes into this for Chris Lazaraga and her teammate Tom Schaap. Tom is 25 years of age, Chris 32. Tom from France, from Rouen, and Chris from Spain.
I've just found out, Greg, we do have a spare boat for tomorrow. That's not going to help us today, but we do have a spare boat. Will it be called RB13 or RB14?
Well, 13's unlucky for some, so I don't know what that number they'll want it to be, but that was such a big impact. And look, Steve Curtis, he's thinking, what have I got to do to get some good fortune? I think just unlucky timing for you at the moment, Steve.
He's
surveys the situation. I mean, he's been there and done it, hasn't he? He's seen all sorts, so he knows how to respond when up against adversity.
We actually joke that Steve Curtis has 9 lives because I have seen him.
He's got 7 left now, then, judging by what's just happened in the last 2 rounds.
I have seen him crash some very, very large power boats at some very big speeds, and he just seems to shake his head and walk away from everything. So. He should be good luck for this team. It's not quite playing out right now, but at least their boat is not sinking. It's in one piece. Marit is clearly fine because she's still sat in the cockpit there. So let's just hope they've got no damage. I can't believe that Team Brazil have got no damage and don't need to come in and be checked. I wonder if it's on the other side. You think maybe the wing on the other side?
I am wondering. I mean, I haven't seen a shot of it, but it was certainly the other side, wasn't it? It was the right-hand side of that boat we were just looking at there. So, like you, well, there's going to be some cosmetic changes, of no doubt at all, but hopefully nothing too significant. But yeah, like you say, it's those foils, isn't it? I mean, they are susceptible in the fact that they do stick out. They're underneath the boat. They stick out further than the rest of the hull. So fingers crossed for Steve Curtis and the rest of them here, Shelley, that any damage is minor. I don't think it's minor on Rafa's race bird, I'm afraid to say.
No, it definitely
let you know if we hear
isn't.
anything. Well, I wonder if Alex Aljo can shed any light. I think she probably can, because she's down there and has managed to grab Steve Curtis. What a moment that was.
Steve, nobody wants to see that. What happened there?
Well, it looked like we got cut off by Lula, and then we took avoiding action, went across their wake, and then we contacted, I mean, that's what it looked like from our end, then we contacted Rafa. Unfortunately, we damaged our foils, and they look like they're sinking. So, yeah, not a good result, especially in a qualifying.
Not a good result, as you say. It's just your second race as team principal. Does it feel like you just can't catch a break?
It does a little bit. You know, we seem to be taking one step forward and two steps back at the moment. So, you know, we're going to go back. We'll have to evaluate what we need to do and then hopefully get ready for tomorrow.
You say evaluate what you need to do. How much work now? What does need to be done in order to get back out on the water? Is it possible, do you think?
I'm not sure we're going to get out for the next race. We might be able to, but I think that the foil's damaged enough that we're going to have to do an overnight repair.
When an electric boat sinks like that, what are the considerations, and actually how dangerous is it?
It shouldn't be too bad. I mean, I'm sure that Tommy, you know, took the power off, so basically it's just a battery then, it's not going through the rest of the circuit. It's just salt water ingression into everything. For them is going to be a nightmare. They're going to have everything out tonight, fix the problems and put it all back together again. And that's not counting if they've damaged foils or whatever, so they've got a lot of work ahead of them as well.
How do you sum up your experience with Team Brazil so far?
Well, like I said, it's one step forward, two step back. You know, it's a great team. They've got a great bunch of people involved. I've just got to, you know, we've just got to get out of this rut that we're in at the moment. And, you know, if you work hard, you'll get out of it.
Yeah, Steve, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alex Aljo down there. Oh, poor old Steve Curtis. It never rains, but it pours at the moment. On board, they're now with this race bird. They've not yet had a proper chance to see any damage. Look, there's some marks here on the right-hand side of the screen, I think, and certainly, because, I mean, one of the boats, I'm trying to think back now, but one of the boats climbed right over the top of the other one, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it was Brazil went over the top of Rafa. So
yeah,
that's where the damage was, yeah.
And they're going straight to the crane, we're just being told. So thank you to everyone here at E1 for bringing us the latest information hot off the press, and to Alex down there with all of the interviews as well. Steve with work to do. I think it's fair to say any plans Steve Curtis had of heading up to Monte Carlo Casino tonight have been put on hold. And to be honest, they don't really have the luck at the moment. So the last place he probably wants to be is a casino. That's a Lula. So Steve reckoned there that it was a Lula who cut them off. If they did, I'm sure it wasn't intentional, Shelley. But he reckons that's what triggered that.
I think Steve was being politically correct and not putting his team in trouble there. I think that was a very diplomatic answer by Steve. But again, he's only looking at one angle. He hasn't seen all the angles we've just seen. We have a prime spot here. Greg, myself, and all the viewers at home, you've seen all of the angles of that accident, and we can all make our own mind up. I'm not sure that they were changing lanes at that point. I think he just got caught on the wash. Again, it's going to be a race director's decision, who at this point is probably rushing round, trying to possibly redo the timetable quickly. Do we get the other boats out and do our other qualifying race while those four boats are being sorted out and repaired?
This is Brazil making their way back down to what is known as the launch zone, and this is where all of these race birds are put in line in terms of championship order coming here to Monte Carlo this weekend. So Rafa have the prime spot there from Aoki Racing, who are second, Brady, reigning champions, third, and this, unfortunately, because of their misfortune so far this year, is the team who are currently ninth and last. I don't mean to sound harsh, in the championship, 102 points behind Rafa, but never mind about that right now. The key is how much damage might there be to this boat as we ride on board with Marit Stromoy. This will be the first time we have a chance to hear Marit's version of events there as well. So have a look at our left-hand side, the boat's right up. They're already getting underneath there to have a feel and have a look as to what is going on as the hatch opens and the Norwegian pilot Marit Stromoy begins to get out, and they're looking, as we predicted, look at that right foil, which is on the left-hand side of your screen. You have mirrors on the boats, incidentally. That's a new addition for E1 Monaco this weekend. And they need to try and get underneath there and have a look, don't they, Shelley? I mean, it doesn't look bad from where we're looking, but clearly, because of the way they're contacted, it's underneath where the damage is.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be underneath, and as you can see, they are all very clearly looking underneath to see if we've got any damage. Marit looks, is she okay? She looks a little bit wobbly there, but I would say that Marit's actually probably been through a lot worse in her powerboating career than that collision. Yes, she's absolutely fine. She's more concerned about the boat. So yeah, they're looking underneath the hull to see what damage there was, because it clearly rose on top of Rafa. The foils look okay.
They don't look too bad, do they? I mean, Marit did head for the crane initially to get the boat craned out of the water, but they've elected to come back to the launch zone. Luckily, everybody is okay. If you are just switching on, we're under red flags here because on the very first few moments of the first qualifying race, the first race, full stop of E1 Monaco here, we've had a collision, and it just carries on after the drama we had in the race-off in Italy 3 weeks ago. It was Brazil and Drogba on that occasion. As you can see now, the medical team and the doctor there have got to Marit Stromoy just to check her over because it was a big hit. We've just had a collision between Brazil with their new boat and Rafa, the championship leaders. But the main thing is, you just saw there, Marit Stromoy, the Norwegian pilot, and Tom Chap, the French pilot, are okay. That's the main thing. Now attention turns to the race birds themselves. Now, let's just see if we can listen in to Marit's version of events here. I'm sure Alex will be on the scene shortly anyway to get the latest from everybody down there. She's just saying, look, yeah, it's exactly what Steve Curtis said. I had to avoid Alula. It was a similar sort of angle to what happened actually in Italy. Different circumstances. There was no one taking evasive action on that occasion, but the angle at which they took was actually quite similar.
But was Alula in the wrong place? They had nowhere else to go. They were holding their line. I'm not sure we can see that again. Alula coming in now. Obviously, I think they'll bring Alula and Miami in because there's no point in them sitting out there wasting time.
What drama, Shelley, that we've had. I mean, we had a big power cut, didn't we, here in Lower Monaco yesterday, which delayed the shakedown by some time. So that was one thing for everybody to contend with. And now this, in the first few moments of the qualifying race.
There's Steve Curtis with Marit there, understanding what actually happened and why, because at the end of the day, we don't want any penalties handed out as well. Our first initial thoughts is, are the pilots okay? Obviously the most important thing, then it's the boats, then it's who's in trouble. Let's have a look again.
Okay, so let's focus on Alula this time on the right-hand side. Did they move across or did they not?
Well, a little bit, but no. Alula moved across a little bit, but Marit still had plenty of yeah, from that angle, this is a tricky one. I still profess that Brazil got caught up on the wash of Alula, and it basically hooked her slightly. She did not take she didn't take sharp evasive action there. Debatable.
So fortunate, the angle of impact, that the bow of that boat didn't go into the cockpit of this man, Tom Chap. He's not going to believe what's hit him. Look, he's looking, everything's fine. All of a sudden, big impact for the championship leaders. And I have to say as well, hats off to Eric Stark and Miami, who was right behind this and managed to avoid it. Here comes the impact from our right-hand side of the screen. There's Brazil over the top of Rafa.
But actually, the foil broke the impact, didn't it? It broke the impact before it hit the boat and then went into the cockpit. Obviously, the cockpit is the strongest part of the E1 race bird. It's a safety. It's basically like an F1 fighter pilot cockpit. It is absolutely solid. So if it was going to hit anywhere, it hit in the best place. The wing broke the fall, and then it obviously was the cockpit. And as you can see, Tom Chap has been checked. He had a knock, but he's absolutely fine. Chris Lazaraga there looking extremely distraught that I think she can watch her boat sinking. Look, I think she's actually crying now, which is understandable. It's very emotional. You've dialed that boat in. You've got everything running perfectly in that boat because they are our championship leaders. And now it could have been all taken away from them.
Well, horrible uncertainty, but at least everyone's all right. That is the main thing. Well, we've got this delay, then let's head back down to Alex Aljo, who's right in the heart of the action.
Yusuf, more bad luck for Team Brazil. You are watching that collision from mission control. Talk me through it from your point of view.
Yes, unfortunately, the start of the race was good, but coming after Brady, I believe Marit had a blind spot where she wanted to cut on the outside and then hit Team Rafa. Thankfully, everyone is okay at the end, but it's not what we want to start the Monaco race with. But overall, we will find out what's the damage and work with what we got and try to come back in the next race.
When you are watching something like that unfold, how shocking is it for you?
It is shocking, and we know that motorsports collisions can always happen. At the end, all we care about is safety. Everyone was fine at the end, but hopefully we can get the damage fixed and get back in the racing for the next session.
How do you think Marit will react to this? Do you think she'll bounce back? You know her character.
I think Marit is immune because she's in powerboats her whole life, and she's been in accidents in the Formula One boats. So she knows all the procedures. It's like nothing new to her, but at the end, no one wants to be in that position. But thankfully, she's okay, and we will do some tactics for the next one.
Yes, absolutely. Thankfully, she's okay, and Tom from Team Rafa as well. All the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed for that update, Alex. That's Yusuf there, Abdul Razak, for the first time this year here at E1, the pilot from Kuwait, jet ski world champion. He's also a financial investment analyst, would you believe? But here's the scene down at Team Rafa with Tom Chapp having survived that nasty impact. Chris Lazaraga, luckily now, she's got over the initial emotion. It must be horrible to see that when your teammates just had a collision. But at least he's all right. That is the main thing. And this is a real test of strength now, not just for Rafa's boat itself, but for the team as well, and their mettle and guile. Don't forget they're trying to defend a championship lead here. They're 7 points ahead of Aoki Racing Team, 21 ahead of Brady, the reigning champions. Rafa, 5th, 2nd, 1st from the first 4 events. I'm just trying to listen in a little bit. Wow, real concern there on the face of Tom Chapp, wasn't there? That is the Miami boat still out there. They're obviously being retrieved as well. And like I said before, Eric Stark, quite rightly, we were focusing on the incident, but Eric did a good job, Shelly, because he was right behind them when they hit each other, and I guess he just went off to his right and avoided the scene of chaos. Both pilots, we saw them looking okay, and now we can officially confirm that they've been checked over by the medical team here, the ever-efficient E1 medical team, and they are all right. So, as you've already said, Shelley, that is by far the most important update there.
Yes, and you said about Eric Stark avoiding them. If I was to have a collision and I wanted anyone behind me, it would probably be Eric Stark, Marit Stromroy, any of those guys. Very experienced racer, Eric is. He would have seen that happen so many times in his racing career before, and would be in great sort of mind and control of his boat to avoid the situation. So, yeah, he can come back in. I know we saw Team Drogba there with Oban, and I bet everyone wants to make sure the pilots are fine. And then underneath, as a racer, you're secretly thinking, thank God that wasn't me again. And, you know, here we have Team Drogba right on cue. They're probably thinking, thank goodness that wasn't us again. And, you know, Team Rafa were leading the championships, you know, and a lot of the other teams will be thinking, okay, well, now we might all have a chance to catch up. You know, at the end of the day, this is racing, and we've got to be honest, this is what goes through everyone's mind.
Yeah, absolutely. They would have already been thinking that because of the fact Rafa were in that first qualifying race and not the second one, which gives out the points. And as you so rightly say, now they're thinking about the fact that, you know, Rafa are certainly out for the rest of the day. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll be able to run a spare boat and get back into the action. But even so tomorrow, imagine all of the uncertainty that's going to bring. Of course, we're not yet ruling out the fact they might be able to get the first boat repaired, but it didn't look very promising, but we just don't know. We'll wait to see what happens with any updates overnight. Well, a horrible situation there for Chris Lazaraga as well, and she now is with Alex.
Chris, we saw just how emotional you were. So horrible to see that. How did you react when you saw that collision?
I was very scared for Tom. I saw the boat sinking. I saw how the foil of Brazil was crashing into the cockpit. So I just wanted to know that Tom was okay. When I saw him jumping, I thought, okay, at least he's conscious. And now, well, let's see, because fortunately nothing, he's okay, a little bit in shock, of course. And now let's see what happens to the boat. Worst scenario, to be leading the championship and have the situation, but it's part of racing.
What could have been done in that situation, or nothing at all? Was it just wrong place, wrong time for Tom?
definitely wrong place, wrong time. Yes, it was some up of things, a combination of things that led to that. For sure, it was not our fault. We were there. I don't think Brazil meant to do that. For sure not. But these boats are a little bit unpredictable, and it happened.
It's been a really, really tough start to the day for Team Rafa. How do you try and move forward now from this? How can you?
Well, when you lead, you have to lead and to be down also, no? So now we have to recover. Rafa is here. We want to give him a good result also, and he knows perfectly how to handle highs and lows. We'll try to see. I hope that we can use the boat of the championship. That's a spare boat for this type of scenarios. So at least we can start the race, which is the only thing we want now.
Chris, thank you so much. Appreciate your time. All the best.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Chris, as well. Well, suitably composed now after a terrifying incident there for her teammate, Tom Chap. But just looking at Chris's CV, as now Miami are back in with Eric Stark. But Chris, over the years, I mean, she's raced in Spain, she's raced in Italy, in France, she's done jet skis, a tremendous jet ski racer. And as I said earlier on during the time trials, recovered from a very, very bad accident in Italy in 2022. But the Hungarian series, Belgium, Switzerland, China, the United States, Poland, and the list just goes on. There's 2 full A4 pages here of all the achievements of Chris Lazaraga so far, and she's still only 32 now, the pilot from Madrid. As Eric Stark, he's a very cool customer, isn't he, Shelley, as he makes his way back out of the cockpit there of the Team Miami Racebird. And they've had their own troubles as well. If you weren't with us for the qualifying time trials earlier on today, you might not be aware of the fact that they couldn't get the boat up on the foils. His teammate was out there at the time, and that of course is Anna Glennon. Eric here from Sweden, Anna is from the United States. Well, that's nice to see. I have to say, it's nice to see some of the Team Miami crew with smiles on their faces, because they haven't been able to smile for too much so far here at E1 Monaco. But as you said, Shelley, in the nicest possible way, now we know everybody's all right. The misfortune for those other 2 teams is good news for Miami, because they might be able to salvage some pretty decent championship points after what earlier on was promising to be a bit of a horrid weekend here.
It's cruel but true that that's the way you will think in racing. You never want anyone to be hurt. You don't really mind if the machinery gets hurt, because you're like, well, that's tough, that's racing, and now we've got a chance.
Yeah. Do you mind speaking about it being out there? The
Alex has got him, there she is.
Yep. Eric, talk me through that from your point of view.
No, I saw them perfectly, so yeah, I was never close to them, so I just saw that Brazil came into Rafa quite hard from the inside, so yeah, was a bum, but happening.
How did you manage to avoid it though? Could you easily have been a part of it?
I was not that close to them, so no, and I basically could see the situation happen before it happened, so I had perfect view from my point of view, so I was okay.
What is it like when you're in a boat and you see that unfolding in front of you?
No, I mean, of course, like everyone is my friend, so of course you want to know they are okay, but yeah, it's racing, and it will happen, and will continue to happen. You know, that's one part of the game.
What about for Tom Schaap? What's it like being that pilot that gets hit?
I've been in that position many times, and no, it's not nice. It's not a nice feeling, but you know, next time it's you, so you know, this happened. You know, it's sad, but it's gonna happen, and yeah, when we are on the limit, I don't know what to say. It happened.
It does happen, yes. And is this a sign that the racing is getting more feisty, more competitive?
Yeah, 100%. And you know, everyone is pushing more out from the boat, and everyone is more competitive. So yeah, you know, the level goes up all the time.
What does this mean now for the rest of the weekend in the hopes of Team Miami here in Monaco?
Now, we've been struggling a lot with the boat. You know, we were one of the fastest last year. In Jeddah, we were quite okay. But, you know, since that something happened, we have a lot of clever brains behind this that trying to figure out what it is. So, yeah, I hope we can find it. But in other case, yeah, we're going to push everything, and we don't give up.
So you still don't know what it is? You say something has happened, are you still trying to work it out then?
Yeah, we're still trying to. The problem is we couldn't get the boat out for today, so tonight the guys, you know, we check everything, and you know, we changed a lot of things until to this race, coming into this race, so we need to change some more things.
Good luck, Eric. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Alex, and Eric there as well. Marit Stromoy then, in the meantime, digesting to her Team Brazil by Claret Group, Team Spurs, what actually happened there. And she's saying, because we heard earlier on that she was taking evasive action to avoid Alula. Shelley reckoned it was nothing untoward from Alula, just one of those things. But if you haven't seen it, it was a big, big hit with Team Rafa. And now, by the looks of things, they're actually watching it back, I believe, there. Yes, look, you can just about see they're watching the incident back for the first time. You can obviously play it in slow motion, pause, freeze frame. This is the first time Marit's actually had a chance to see this.
Look, they were starting on a straight, and that's fine. If they would have stayed straight, you would have never had to turn right. Look, straight, and here they turn. Look, boom.
They're definitely saying that if Alula hadn't moved, you wouldn't have to turn. They're convinced of the fact that it's Alula's fault. I'm sure Alula would disagree with that.
The thing is, it's whichever team you're talking to, Greg, are always in the right.
Exactly.
No one's you never admit to making a mistake. It's very rare that somebody puts their hand up and go, yeah, that was my bag.
You had to turn right. Steve Curtis on the right-hand side of your screen.
I mean, you've got two of the most experienced powerboat racers in the world right there. Steve Curtis, Marit Stromoy. So, you know, if anyone's going to know what they did wrong, but even if they did it wrong, I don't think they'll put their hand up.
Now this is Eric Stark digesting the situation. We get absolutely every opinion here, aren't we, with his teammate Anna Glenn, and they're doing the same thing now. They're going back through it too. Okay, we've seen Marit with the team. Sorry, Shelley, let's get down to Marit, who's with Alex.
Marit, first things first, and most importantly, how are you? Are you okay?
Yeah, no problem. No problem whatsoever.
You've been checked over?
Yeah, no problem.
Talk me through it. What happened?
Well, I was battling for position with Alula and Rafa. And Alula was, first I was in the front, and then Alula overtook me, then they went wide, and they went in. I mean, we were battling for position, and I would call it a race incident. We were all trying to be first to that next corner, and luckily everyone is okay. Unluckily, we have some damage on, I think, 2 boats. On our boat, it's a foil issue, so we're getting it replaced and getting back on the water for tomorrow. But yeah, it's unfortunate, but like you say, the best thing is that everyone is okay.
What did it feel like when your boat hit Tom's? It looked like a huge impact.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. It's like everything in that situation is like everything goes in half speed, in slow motion. But no, it was an accident that happened because all 3 of us wanted to be first on the water. That's how it happens sometimes, unfortunately. And these boats are a bit unreliable. Also the straights, sometimes they want to go left, sometimes they want to go right. But unluckily, this was a crash. It could have been gone the right way, but this time no. But yeah, we're gonna go back on the water for tomorrow.
You said it goes in slow motion, so what are you thinking? What's going through your head? Are you trying to stop it happening?
No, I mean, at the moment, me and Tom we were just kind of taking each other for a ride around, full circle, and you can't really do nothing at that point. It's already too late, but yeah, it's like everything goes in slow motion. I can't explain it in any other ways, but.
This does happen in racing, of course. You'll have done so many safety drills expecting collisions like this to happen. Did you feel well prepared in that moment? And what kind of drills do you do to prepare you for things like this?
Yeah, I mean, normally I race other powerboat categories, and I've done a lot of crashing in my life, unfortunately. But that's the art of racing. Sometimes this happens, and luckily both the boats and the drivers are safe enough to handle these kind of situations. Yes.
Just finally, have you been to see Tom, and what did you say to him?
Yeah, I went to Tom. He's okay. I've known Tom for many, many years, so we're okay. Now, I think both Tom and me just want to go back on the water.
Marit, thank you. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex, and thank you to Marit as well. A very, very open interview there, and I think it is fair to say that she's changed her opinion just a tad now, hasn't she, having reviewed the incident herself. As we look down on the launch zone, and of course, conspicuous by their absence there, a racebird-shaped gap where Rafa should be, our championship leaders, after that big, big hit there with Brazil. So we are now getting some information through to the commentary box. In just over 19 minutes from now, which is 6 o'clock local time, here in Monte Carlo, we will go through to the next race, because obviously we've lost a couple of boats from the first one, so we're going to skip through to qualifying race 2 with 5 teams, 5 crews, and this will be the top 5 from the qualifying time trials earlier on today, including Aoki and Danny Kloss, who you can see there at the bottom right of your screen. So we'll have Brady, who won last time out in Italy, and they are the reigning champions. Team Blue Rising with John Peters, Mr. Fast Starter himself. Drogba, who like Brazil, have a new boat after the collision at Maggiore with Oban Duncan, the 19-year-old Scottish teenager, on board. Danny Kloss, as I say, you can see him there sitting down, and Lucas Ordonez, who put in an absolutely amazing run for Westbrook, Will Smith's team, earlier on in the qualifying time trials, despite having not one single lap in practice earlier on today, as Westbrook sorted out, you can see their boat there, you could at least, the red one, sorted out some wiring loom problems earlier on. Aoki Racing Team looking on and out towards the marina here with Port Hercule in Monte Carlo. So a quick pause. We'll be back from here in 18 minutes, or actually just less, just under 18. Oh, quick word from Shelley before we do. Did you have something to just note there?
No, I was just going to describe the situation we've got there going on, and it is quite an interesting one. If you're just joining us now, we have had an incident, I'm afraid, in one of the qualifying races. Where we had Team Brazil and Team Rafa coming together. So we're on a red flag at the moment, but we will be racing again very shortly.
We certainly will. And last time out, we were at Lago Maggiore in Italy for the first time. Let's catch up with the second final there, where all of the points were handed out, with our reigning champions, Brady and Emma Kymäläinen's team there on pole position. So here we go then, this is how they line up for final 2. I will just stress, Alula are not starting, so Brady have lane 1 on the inside line with Sam Coleman, and that is where they want to be. They do need to time the starting procedure correctly. So, Alula out of action, 4 remain. It is John Peters ahead of his birthday on Monday, the experienced powerboat racer from the States. He makes absolutely fantastic starts, so let's see what he can do from lane 4 on the outside. Rafa Nadal will be egging on Tom Schaap here, the Frenchman. He's a champion in karting on 4 wheels as well as powerboat racing. Let's hope he can stay out of trouble. We've had some incidents into the first corner. He's in lane 3. Here then is Westbrook Racing, and this is Sarah Price, professional stuntwoman. It's probably just as well with some of the antics we've seen in the field so far this weekend. Lane 2, can she blast ahead with a boost, I wonder, on the run to turn 1? But Tom Brady's team, and they've looked so good, haven't they, all weekend long. We've seen brilliant efforts from Emma Kymäläinen, and now it is down to Sam Coleman here in the final to get away cleanly. Remember, they have to take 1 long lap and 1 short lap across the 6 laps coming up now, with the maximum 38 points available for victory. Saunders, this is it. This is what they've built up to for the entire event. You can see Blue Rising just further behind everyone else. They want a better run-up, don't they, to the line?
That's sort of John Peters' special, I think, almost trying to be at the back of that order, because he's in the least advantageous position when it comes to lane start. He's in the outside lane, has to do all of the work to come across into to follow the course. So he kind of wants to maybe use as much speed as possible to cross the line at that perfect moment and take all that speed into the first turn, hopefully ahead. But I tell you what, he's got some competition, because there's a lot of good caliber and strong competition right next to him.
Yeah, Team Blue Rising, incidentally, with John Peters at the helm there, owned by Virat Kohli, the 36-year-old from Delhi in India, the Indian international cricketer and former captain. So we are now on board. On our left is Rafa. This is the view from Blue Rising. It's so calm at the moment, but it won't be calm for long because we're just seconds away now. 22 seconds to be precise. Away from final 2 here with 38 points available and potentially leadership of E1 changing ahead of Monte Carlo in 3 weeks' time. See who's on the boost. You'll get the yellow flag turning to a green flag, and once they get the green, they're able to cross the line. If not, penalties will be given. 3, 2, 1. That's a clean start. Yellow becomes green, and we're down into turn 1.
And can we get it nice and tidy? No incidents on this first turn. Oh, a good evasive manoeuvre there from Team Brady to avoid the Westbrook boat that was coming right into the right-hand side of them. As we go on board now, Team Brady into the lead, followed by Rafa, Blue Rising, and then Westbrook behind.
Yeah, that's bad news, isn't it, for Sarah Price and Westbrook, but she's got a grandstand view now, look, a nice smooth little bit of water in front of us as well. Brady then are leading the black boat at the front of the pack. Tom Chap now for Rafa, he's up into second place, but John Peters trying to swing around the outside. Oh, careful not to hit the smart mark on the inside, Tom, and that was great driving there from the Rafa pilot. Oh, but now he does touch the smart mark.
You're always trying to get as nice and tidy through those turns as much as you can, but you're also trying to avoid the wake of the pilot in front because you can't control the race bird when you get caught up in that. But it's very hard to manage.
That's the second time that smart mark has been hit actually by Rafa. When Tom was driving yesterday, the same thing happened. As we get down to the final corner, this is the first opportunity to take the short lap. Let's see if anybody does. Well, Brady, are they going to? I think they are peeling in. Yes, they are.
That's exactly what you want to do. You want to avoid anybody getting the undercut on you, but keeping out, get into the short lap, you retain that clean water, and that helps you just keep pulling ahead. So when you come round to do your long lap, you don't lose extra time.
So I suppose then there, in the case, Saunders, of Rafa, for example, they're in third place. They've dropped back intentionally, haven't they, by not doing the short lap, so they don't have any wake in front of them now as Brady and Team Blue Rising get up to the far end of the course, and they're continuing on the standard lap there.
So let's see now if your call is right there, Greg, and Tom Chap and Rafa go into that long lap now, or whether they leave it a little bit longer. Maybe there's still a chance to build up more pace and a little bit more balance in the race, but it looks like they haven't done it this time around, but maybe we can. With Team Westbrook, they have done it, so their strategy on the opposite side.
Yeah, so they're obviously at the back. We're on board with Sarah Price now, the American, as she comes through the second part of the long lap zone, delineated there by the green smart marks. So some nice clear water in front of her now. You can see at the top of the screen as the graphic just ticks over, 1 long lap completed. It's 1 long and 1 short in this race. Don't forget, we have 38 points available for the win. Brady then with the lead. They've done their short lap. Second is Blue Rising. Ditto. They've done their short lap. And Rafa, look, Tom Chap just pushing on. At the moment then, he's just happy to continue on the main course.
They've clearly got a strategy that they're hoping to execute and hoping it does well, maybe towards the last few laps of this race. We have seen strategy work really well for them. They've actually been kind of strategic masters when it comes to other events so far this weekend.
They'll be operating the trim as well with the fingers of their right hand, the paddles on the back of the wheel, and there's also the green and yellow buttons for trim, incremental increases and decreases by plus or minus 10, which is a more dramatic effect to get that bike boat slowed down. It took me all weekend, but I did it in the end, to get that boat slowed down. And now they're into the last corner there with Brady. So let's have a look, because we've still got a long lap to go, but at the moment with the clear lead he has and pulling away, it makes sense to just keep on the normal lap, doesn't it? And Brady now leading, as you can see, by 7.8 seconds. John Peters has the boost on behind.
And we've just heard that Aoki have been awarded that 7th place. So if things end as they are, it will be Rafa that take the lead of this championship.
So that's 7th place. That means they were basically second. So basically, I think they've given them based on their starting positions, haven't they, from the place race, which was red flagged early on. So that's 9 points then for Aoki. So in the meantime, we're into the second half now of this final here at Lago Maggiore, and it's Brady with a 9.5 second lead. Are we going to see them coming through to their long lap? And the answer is no.
And the main reason why I think is it's less than a 10-second gap between the Sam Coleman and John Peters at the moment, so it's risky to do it now when you are within the margin of a long lap. So you've got the spotters on shore trying to predict that, trying to make that strategy work, and maybe they want Sam to pull away a little bit more and then activate that long lap.
There's Sarah Price. She's just taken her short lap, I can tell you, so that's why she's now ahead of Rafa, but Tom Chap behind on Rafa needs to do the same thing again. So at the moment, certainly out there on the water, Westbrook are ahead, But as you see on the prediction, look, Rafa would be ahead because they still need to do their short lap there with the blue smart marks. They basically cut the inside of turn 1. Okay, Saunders, we're into the penultimate lap. It's lap 5 of 6. And the two at the front both need to take a long lap. So I think potentially the biggest change we're going to see here is Westbrook, look, this brilliantly beautiful looking red boat in third place, the Will Smith run team, being overhauled by Tom, Chap and Rafa. And I can tell you that Rafa now, as you can see for yourself, are taking the short lap. This is going to be very, very close, but Rafa should be ahead, and they are.
Yeah, that's well done. That's really well timed to make that short lap strategy work. And now, as things stand, as we said, this would give Rafa the lead of the championship, but I'm sure that's not all they want. I'm sure they want more from this race, Greg.
Well, this is like a seesaw, isn't it? The pendulum continues to swing because Aoki led after Jeddah, Rafa led the championship after Doha with their win, and then we saw it change.
It's close for a second now, look at this.
Fight for a second, it's still going on.
Yeah, just coming out of the long lap there was really close between John Pease and Tom Chap. Tom Chap timed that strategy really well, and by not having to do that long lap then, able to got the better of it.
Well, that's absolutely brilliant pace there, and that run he had into the long lap was fantastic as well. We're into the 6th and final lap, and Coleman will take his long lap, and it is all fine now with this healthy advantage. Back to this great scrap going on. Let's see if John Peters then with Blue Rising can do anything about Tom Chap. So it's the French pilot ahead of the American pilot. Sarah Price is still in close attendance as well there for Westbrook in 4th place. There could still be a change here on this final lap, but that's for 2nd place.
Sam Coleman's now going to come in and do that long lap they have to do. Thankfully, there is about a 16-second gap at the moment, so it shouldn't cause any problems. He comes straight back out into the lead unless anything bad happens in the long lap taking. And Rafa seems to be pretty safe right now because John Peters has got the boost to try and get the best of him, but he is going to have to deal with all that weight whilst doing it.
There you go, look, he's one turn clearly ahead, and Brady, finally, their longest losing streak in 1.5 seasons of E1 is going to come to an end. We're going to have our 3rd different winning team from 4 rounds so far in 2025, the reigning champions. It's still tight, we can tell you, in the fight for 2nd and 3rd place, as you can see them in the background, but they've done it. Tom Brady will be overjoyed as Sam Coleman comes through, and his efforts combine with Emma Kimmelaine and see them win here for the first time. Rafa are going to be 2nd to take the E1 championship lead.
Excellent work there, and Tom Chap to take the championship lead, and Sam Coleman as well, just delivering once again. That Brady team looking incredibly strong.
There are Westbrook in that 4th place. There was still a fair amount of drama, wasn't there, down at turn 1, even though there were only 4 boats, 4 of the race birds in at that race as opposed to the usual 5. And wow, this championship just continues to fluctuate by the round. Every single time we've had a round so far this year, we've come away with a different championship leader. Team Brady then winning finally for them for the first time this season, and the 4th time so far if you take into account their 3 from 2024. Brilliant, let's get on board, let's get a reaction. Sam, congratulations, that's exactly what you guys wanted, your first victory of the season. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. I just can't thank my team enough. You know, we were hunting around for boat settings all weekend, and we nailed it when it mattered, and Emma did such a great job to put us on pole. I'm just so proud of everybody. It was
from
awesome.
The quali race.
I'll try not to swear.
Stage races.
Yeah, please don't. Thank you very much indeed, but well done. Brilliant teamwork. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Team strategy, Saunders. You've been talking about it in terms of setup, communication, and they have aced it this weekend.
I mean, performance with a capital P, I think, as you would say, looking at this event. I'm just looking back at the timings, and I think in the last 4 of the 5 races that we've had that Brady have been involved in, they've topped them. So it's not just about the pace when it comes to qualifying time trials or qualifying races. When it comes to the group stages, the race-off and the finals, Brady just on another level, almost kind of symbiotic resemblance of what we saw last season.
Some retribution for Brazil. They did get the fastest lap of the day, but never mind about them right now, with the greatest of respect, because it is all about Brady as they win. And you just never know, do you? We've got another 3 rounds still to go this season. The championship continues to close up, Saunders, all the time. There's a maximum 42 points available over the rounds, and there's still another 3 rounds to go.
Yeah, there's still a lot that can happen, but as we know now, it's Team Rafa that have taken the championship lead, and because of that dominant performance and dominant win from Team Brady, they have really closed the gap now on Aoki Racing.
The 38 points, look, for Brady, and some consolation there for Brazil, who actually do pick up the fastest lap. But Aoki, that was a bruising, an ugly weekend, wasn't it? That's the word that Danny Kloss used as they lose some ground in the championship. But there's your 38 points for winning the final here today, ahead of Rafa. Brady, delighted. Rafa, your new championship leaders. Well, there we are. That was Saunders, CB and I back in Lago Maggiore in Italy 3 weeks ago, and just another plot twist for E1 in 2025. And that was before we got here to Monte Carlo. This is E1 Monaco. Welcome along. I was going to say you're just on time, but you're actually quite late. But luckily for you, now that I know everybody's all right, you've still got the main qualifying race coming your way shortly as we look across this world-famous Port Hercule here at Monaco. We've got 5 rounds, sorry, this is round 5, 3 to go, including this one. And there he is here himself, the King of Clay, 22 tennis Grand Slams to his name, Rafa Nadal, and that's Tom Chapp, I'm pleased to say, alongside him. Not what Rafa came to Monte Carlo to see, though, a massive impact for his race bird. If you are just joining us, there was a big impact earlier with Brazil, who are running a new boat. They'd already had a collision last time out in Italy, but luckily they are both all right there, the 2 pilots who were involved. That's Chris Lazaraga to the right-hand side of our screen. Tom Chapp was the one involved in the collision. And Rafa, as I said earlier on, he actually went up against Will Smith last year at Lake Como. They did a bit of a drag race. But he is the King of Clay, 22 Grand Slams, 14 of them at the French Open. Rafa, who's going to be celebrating the big 4-0. He's going to be turning 40 in June next year. Just had his 39th birthday a few weeks back. Tennis fans, of course, will know he's part of what's known as the Big Three, right up there in the record books with Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic. And it's actually 20 years this year since Rafa's first major title at the French Open, surprise, surprise, back in 2005. Well, if you are just joining us, this is the reason we're having a very lengthy delay here. So, Team Alula, championed by LeBron James, lead on your right-hand side. Brazil, Marcelo Claro's boat swings across into the side of Rafa Nadal's racebird, and Team Miami were quite some way back, thankfully, so Mark Anthony's boat gets around them. Shelley Jury-Lee is alongside us. We've seen this several times now. Alula closest to us. There goes Brazil, straight into the side of Rafa. How would you call it, Shelley? You've been in situations like this, sadly, across your career. Was anybody at blame? Racing incident?
From that angle, it looks like Team Alula does move across, but as you and I have both seen from other angles, it isn't Team Alula's problem at all. And quite honestly, when Team Brazil and Rafa actually make contact, you're passengers. They can't do anything about it. You just go with the flow. As Mara explained, you're in slow motion, and it just took them round in a circle, and you've just got to go with it. I would be very interested to see or hear what the race director has made of this incident. It may be a case that they need to look at it slowly and more sort of, you know, in slower definition tonight and make a decision tomorrow if anyone's going to be penalised, or whether it's just a racing incident, as Marat said.
Full speed replays as we look back at this big impact. That is a new boat as well, the yellow and green boat of Team Brazil. They've already said they need to change the right foil. Is it any wonder after an impact like that, when you see and hear and almost feel that in full speed, this gives you an idea of how large this impact was. Watch this. Very fortunate that the bow there of Brazil didn't actually go through into the cockpit of Rafa. But having said that, Shelley, you touched on this earlier, they're extremely strong, aren't they, the survival cells of these race birds, this new technology that was all put together. In fact, you were involved, weren't you, in the development of the race birds. Okay, let's get down to Alex Aljo again, who's with the big boss of E1, Roddy Basso himself.
Roddy, such a shame, not what we wanted to see out there. How did you react when you saw the incident?
Well, first of all, happy to hear that the pilots are absolutely fine. So for me, this was my first question to the team, and so that's very important. For the rest, it is racing. So definitely, these are things that can happen. Of course, we will spend a few hours and days in the next few days to understand how to avoid this, if there was the chance, or we will just take it as a racing action occurrence.
What do you think? Do you think it was avoidable then?
Well, of course, I mean, I haven't seen the details, but it looks like it was an overtaking or a maneuvering, and we need to understand, you know, the lines, and again, if it was avoidable. I cannot tell much in this very moment, or maybe it wasn't avoidable, so it was just part of the racing. So again, we need some analysis.
You've been here as the boats have been lifted out of the water, craned out of the water. What can you tell us? Can you update us?
Yeah, well, first of all, I hear that the boat is in good, safe conditions in terms of all the electric system. So that's a very important message, so that the operators can work around it and actually lift the boat. Then I've been told that one lift point has been damaged, and so they cannot lift actually the boat. So we need to find some workaround to put the straps and take it out and let the water go out and do all the checks. So normal maintenance and operations, I would say.
What is the protocol then? Can they race again if they're good to go?
Yeah, we will work on getting them back on a boat. Very likely, we need to again check the condition of the boat. Very likely will be the spare boat. Still fine. I mean, Tom and Chris are very strong. I'm sure they will react, especially because they have their team owner here, and so they will be even more motivated.
Absolutely. We all want to see them back out there here in iconic Monaco. Apart from this, how happy are you to be here?
Well, that's just incredible. I mean, we have more than doubled the number of guests in the hospitality. We expect more people coming and watching from the terraces and everywhere is possible here in Monaco. So far it's going very well in terms of event in general. And so, yeah, very pleased, very proud to be back.
And we've seen Rafael Nadal chatting to Tom and to Chris on the boat down there. How pleased are you to have so many of the team owners here as well?
Well, they are a continuous source of inspiration, and of course not only for the teams but also for ourselves as E1 and for our guests and our fans. So it is great to have them here, interested and interacting with their fans as well, and you know, also spreading the brand of E1 around.
Absolutely, a brilliant weekend ahead, I am sure. Roddy, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you very much indeed to Roddy there, as well as Rafa Nadal. Well, they all seem comfortable and calm enough, don't they, now? But nice to hear there from Roddy Basso. It was back in September 2020 when he and Alejandro Agag put together a 25-year deal and with exclusivity for an electric powerboat racing series. And here we find ourselves halfway through 2025, Season 2. And what excitement and drama and action we've already seen here at E1 Monaco, and these large boats have been actually providing quite a lot of that action because of the weight they've been causing for the race birds at various points over the weekend. Now, something we often hear about, Shelly, is freshwater and saltwater. Obviously very, very salty water here at Monte Carlo. We've had one freshwater event this year, and that was last time out at Lago Maggiore in Italy. This collision we've just seen, would the effects of that have been any different if we were dealing with a freshwater scenario?
100%, Greg. If this had happened in Lago Maggiore, we would have actually had nowhere near as the damage on the race bird as we've got in salt water, because as we could see, Team Rafa was sinking. It means the engine's gone into the water. Quite honestly, that means that all of the electrics, all of the wiring, all of the engine, salt water ruins everything. In Lago Maggiore, we would have been in fresh water. We would have had half the damage.
Wow, that was very unfortunate then, to say the very least. Just to let you know, the official bulletins we're receiving here in the commentary box, this is the same the teams get. Initially, it said the qualifying race 2 will start at 1800, which obviously has not happened. There's been a change. The latest bulletin came through at 57 minutes past the hour, which is 7-8 minutes ago, saying that the race will start at 18:15. And if that's the case, that's just over 10 minutes from now. But it has changed before, so I'll keep you updated as the bulletins come through on our timing screen. And as I say, that's the same information fed through to all of the teams. Well, this is a nice opportunity, at least for the guests and the public and those here at E1 Monaco, to meet Rafa himself and what a man to have involved in E1. And now, with the privilege of interviewing Rafa Nadal himself, is Alex Aljo.
Rafa, it is great to have you here, but certainly not what we wanted to see. How did you react when you saw that collision just now?
Well, just I was worried. It was scary. I was just next to the track with another boat, just seeing in real, and I was worried for Tom. Honestly, no. On real, yeah, from the side it looks dangerous. Then when you see it, of course dangerous, but we were a little bit lucky, I think. And the main thing is he's okay, he's healthy, and that's it. The rest of the things doesn't matter when you went through this.
You've been sat with the pilots. What have you been saying to them? What did you say to Tom specifically?
Well, I mean, remain one more day. So, of course, the main thing is that he's healthy. Then we need to look for the other boat, and we need to prepare well the boat for tomorrow. So they have a lot of work to do in the next 12 hours. So it's going to be a big challenge, and we're going to start in a very tough position. But everything is possible, and today was not our day. But why not? Tomorrow can be our day. So let's fight for it and let's enjoy it.
Just how important is it to use these setbacks to come back stronger than before? You've been through it in your career too.
Yeah, but needs to now. Main thing needs to be happy to stay healthy. That's the main thing. Stay positive because you are okay, and then start thinking about what we can do for being ready for tomorrow. And that's the thing. What happened today, can have a small impact on tomorrow, but tomorrow is another day, and we need to come back with full energy and staying positive. And we are leading in the championship, so let's fight. I don't know if we can win the race or not, but let's fight to catch as many points as possible, because we are in a privileged position on the championship, and we want to have chances till the last race to win this championship.
Yeah, exactly. Leading the way, as you say, here in this iconic setting of Monaco. Other team owners here as well. Tom Brady walking around. How much do you love this racing, the rivalries?
Well, it's good, having a lot of team owners here makes always the competition even a little bit more special. We are able to give some shit to each other. So the competition is healthy and everybody wants to win, but in a good way. So in a healthy way. So we're having fun, and we are just by the side of our teams, supporting the pilots, supporting the rest of the team. That they are in my case, they are in a tough moment now, and having fun of being here together and enjoying an amazing competition.
We wish you all the best, and it is great to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Alex. Apologies there for some of that flowery language. I will just say in his defence, it's not quite so strong in Spanish as it is in English, but even so, apologies for that. Wash his mouth out with soap, Mr. Nadal. He'll be looking, of course, to make his way back to Mallorca at the end of the weekend, or saltwater, yes, as I've just been advised by our colleagues here. Good one. You can tell we're funning, can't you? So, yeah, 125 points. They're 7 ahead of Aoki and 21 ahead of Brady. But as Shelley's just been saying to me here in the commentary box while we were listening in there to Alex with Rafa, they've not actually lost any points. I mean, everything in perspective. I mean, Rafa was calm, wasn't he? As we look at now, Sari Mizir in Team Blue Rising with Emma Kimalainen, who's down there as well from Brady, who won last time out. But, Rafa, he's been face-to-face with Roger Federer, hasn't he, and Novak Djokovic. So he's good at coping under pressure, I think it's fair to say, Shelley. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, what would you rather do if you were Rafa? Would you rather try and get your A-boat, as it were, repaired, or would you want to be getting into the spare race bird for tomorrow?
I would definitely want the spare race bird tomorrow. If we'd been in fresh water, as I said, oh, that's cool.
It is. I'll tell you what, though, it's still a warm afternoon. It's still 28 degrees Celsius out there.
Very in keeping with the foiling there going on with the E1 race birds. Yes, going back to your question, I would definitely want the new boat because you've got saltwater damage. We saw the boat was basically, I'm not sure how much of the engine has gone into the saltwater there, but a fair amount of it was below the water level. I'd want a new boat, I'm afraid, so that it hasn't had salt water through. Whether they can get it liveried up in time, who knows?
You have a powerboat team of your own, of course, and I hate to remind you that in Italy yourself, you had to deal with a sinking boat, didn't you, a week or so back, so you know exactly how they're feeling right now.
Yes, when you have a boat going into salt water like that, I'm afraid probably every switch, every piece of electrical wiring, everything in that boat, if it's come anywhere near salt water, you can basically write it off.
Unfortunate. That sounds costly, doesn't it? But at least the pilots are all right.
It's costly and timely. You know, even if the poor guys of Team Raffle worked all night, you can never be sure that you've caught every single gremlin. As you said, my team were in salt water over 3 weeks ago, and we are still chasing those gremlins, even though we thought we'd rewired everything.
Wow, it just puts into perspective the pressure on every single member of the team, not least the pilots. In fact, it's the pilots who actually can't do much about it now, isn't it, in this situation? The onus is on every other man and woman involved in each of these teams in this set of circumstances.
And this is where you will see true teamwork come into its sort of perspective and operation. This is where everyone pulls together, they get onto it and they work on it. Even if they get the new boat out, as it were, the spare E1 boat, even if that's brought out, they're still going to have to work on it most of the night. They've got to get the seats set up, they've got to get the harnesses set up, and obviously that fit is different for each pilot.
Yeah, and we've seen a similar situation already, haven't we? Pre-weekend with Brazil and Drogba electing to, well, I say electing, they had no choice really, but to switch to new boats, new race birds for this 5th round of the season. That was following a collision of their own. I mean, poor old Brazil again, as I said before, it's the 2nd event in a row. 2 consecutive race days, if you look at it over the course of the calendar, that they've had a big impact for their old and now for their new boats. This gives everyone a very unusual time now to just digest what's happened and perhaps look ahead to the main race day here in Monaco tomorrow. This is Sarah Price and Westbrook Racing, and we were chatting away during the qualifying time trials earlier on today about the fact that they've had all sorts of electrical problems. They've had to deal with wiring loom issues. This is Will Smith's Westbrook Racing, incidentally. And our very own Alex down there just checking the situation with Sarah, so hopefully we'll hear the latest very shortly, whether it's an interview or we just hear some updates. I'll keep you posted on that one. And now traffic coming in and out of the marina here. I mean, it's an interesting one here because our timing screen says we've got a race starting in 3 minutes time, but judging by the pictures we're seeing, which is exactly the same as you at home, I get the feeling we don't have a race in just under 3 minutes from now, but we'll just keep you posted. It's a situation we've not been in before, and as Roddy Basso said earlier on, the boats have been damaged. It's difficult to get them lifted out of the water, but we saw Sarah Price there with Alex. Let's get down to them right now, live here in Monaco.
Sarah, Lucas ready to go, but it hasn't been a straightforward day for you either, has it? Can you tell us what's happened?
Yeah, earlier on we didn't get to practice because we had a wiring loom issue, so they had to change the wiring loom, so we missed our practice. I got a few laps out there, but we had issues, and then we had to go straight out to qualify. So qualifying was our first time really going at pace on water, and you know, I threw down a decent lap in my qualifier, or in my session. I got 2nd, and then Lucas just absolutely threw down a heater, getting 1st in his. So we're in 5th right now currently, but the conditions are rough, so it's been very mediocre between each group. But when you're out there racing, and now we're going door to door, or should I say, you know, foil to foil, it's going to get a lot more interesting, I think, because we're all racing on the same conditions, and now racing play comes in.
How does that affect your mindset going out there when you haven't had a practice? Is it sort of pressure off in a way?
Yeah, 100%. You know, a lot of people say the opposite. They're always like, oh, wow, you know, is the pressure on because you haven't had track time? And you're like, yeah, it sucks because out here we get minimum time in the boat. And so, like, every amount of time we can get in the cockpit is so fragile. And so we need that data. We need to collect all the info. And that's the hardest thing about this series is that, you know, we're limited on time and we're always time crunching. So, yeah. But when you go out there and you don't have an option but to do your best, like, that's all you can do. You can only do the best, so.
What is the most challenging thing about the conditions? The fact they are constantly changing and you just don't know what to expect. How do you manage that? How do you handle it?
Yeah, the conditions here are very technical because, you know, in the earlier sessions we're finding are a lot faster, like 10 seconds faster. And then if you are in a group that isn't the first one to go out, that kind of is a bummer for you, you know. You have a little bit of a rougher conditions, and it's not just a little rough, it's a lot rough out there. So it's something we're all battling and sending it pretty hard. But the goal is to not send it so hard. So we're trying to figure that out with the minimum time we've had.
Seeing a collision like that, does it make you more wary going out there?
Me, no. I'm you know, we come from off-road racing and we're used to crashing, I guess. So I think these boats are pretty safe, and so I don't really worry about it. It's part of racing. But it is interesting to see kind of what happens because we haven't seen this very much here yet. And so I think it's only going to keep happening more and more, though, because we're all pushing the limits and we all want to win. So, hey, sometimes you're going to take a little bit of chance, right?
Do you relish that? The feistiness?
Yeah, no, I think rubbing's racing to me. You know, out here at the UIM, our rules are pretty strict. So it's been a little bit of a change for me, but racing with Dakar lately with the FIA, it's kind of the same. So I'm becoming a European, I feel like, lately. You know, there's Americans been over here a lot, but it's been a lot of fun, and I'm just so proud of our team. And, man, I have the most coolest teammate. I absolutely adore Lucas, and he kills it. So, you know, I think no matter what we're given, we're always going to make the best out of it.
Now, I am slightly concerned about something, because the last time I saw you, you had Will Smith's lucky golden glasses. And what are these? These aren't them.
These are not them, but yes, last time when we won, we had, you know, Will's glasses. I should have brought those. Now you're making me think about this. A little superstition coming in.
Don't let me get in your head. All the best. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. Well, we think Will might be turning up tomorrow. So, Will, if you're listening, if you're watching, don't forget the glasses wherever you are, and making your way towards Monte Carlo. Well, I've actually got some positive news here, because we're actually seeing that the race itself, qualifying race 2, don't forget there's points to be handed out, will start in just under 24 minutes from now at 20 to 7 local time. There's the confirmation. Local time there, 18:40. So don't go anywhere. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be underway at 18:40 here at E1 Monaco, with 3 points given out for winning qualifying race 2. Back in a bit.
čuva da se plaše da ne eksplodira baterija. To valjda ovo. Kako da eksplodira? Otko zna, kako Ana kaže da je dobro čula, ne znam. A? Što su ga spuštali? Bože je, čekaj bre, ako raskače bateriju, kakva je opasnost? Šta je problem? Problem je ako je to pod naporom. S rukavicama otvorit ću je jaj. Kako ću da otvorim ovo, nema za prijeći, kamer, gleda ga stvari. Niko ne sve ga pipne, niko se svi otklonili. Nekako su zakačili.
Welcome back then to E1 Monaco, where the news is that we will not have any more racing today, I'm afraid, while the situation is sorted out. The good news is, though, that we've got plenty of racing coming here on Saturday, and the good news is that the pilots involved in the crash are okay. Well, Shelley, what drama again? You just never know what's going to happen in E1 this year.
E1 is so exciting. And I mean, you know, this isn't exciting, but it's drama. We have certainly had drama today. It means tomorrow, Greg, we are going to be very, very busy.
You can say that again, so we'll make the most of a nice relaxing night, I think, now for everyone who's here at Monte Carlo. www.e1series.com for all of the latest information and bulletins, and also our social media channels as well, because as Shelley so rightly says, there's going to be a lot to pack in to this 5th round of the season. E1 Monaco with plenty of points to be handed out and plenty of action coming our way on Saturday. Enjoy your Friday night.